Hi friends! We're glad to welcome you to our oil painting workshop. The workshop is led by artist Tatiana Zubova. Today we'll paint a very nice picture. We always prepare gifts for Christmas, so today we'll paint a gift box. There is a lovely goldy wrapping with a purple bow and nice reflection. Let's prepare the canvas and then I'll tell you about needed materials. Take a flat bristle brush. Moisten it a bit with paint thinner. I'll use odorless turpentine. Pick up model and cover the canvas with very fast movements. Don't spend a lot of time on any parts. Do it quickly. Apply a very thin layer of paint. We're covering the canvas with a very thin layer of paint. That's good. Now leave the canvas to dry, and I'll tell you about materials. For such small paintings, you can take a small canvas. The smallest size can be 20 by 20 centimeters. You can also take 25 by 25 or 30 by 30 centimeters. This is the best possible size for such picture. Moreover, you can paint such subjects with acrylics, gouache, and even colored pencils or felty pens on a small postcard. We'll use a variety of techniques so that you can use the skills you learned in videos to create your own gifts. You can make small postcards for your friends or make a real painting. The choices are unlimited. It all depends on your imagination. Today we'll need the following paints. I'll use oil paints: titanium white, cadmium yellow medium, yellow ochre, model rose, phallicyanine blue, ultramarine light, burnt sienna, and Payne's gray. Now take any rag and rub the paint like this with a rather hard pressure. Make a thin layer of color on the painting. This will make the painting easier. Take a small bristle brush, pick up paint thinner. I usually use odorless turpentine, but you can take any paint thinner that you want. And take model. Let's construct the gift box. First, mark the bottom corner of the box and also mark the general height of the object. The width will be almost equal to the height of the gift. Like this. First, you need to mark these edges. We can make it a little smaller so that the object wouldn't become cramped on the canvas. Now we need to make a cube. Let's mark this edge. Choose the height of the edge. Let it be like this. Then mark the top edges. See, it's such a rhombus on top. And now we'll check if we've made it right. We must make it like this, so the closer edge, this one, is a bit smaller than the opposite one. If it's not, correct it. This edge is larger and the opposite one is shorter. The same with these edges. The closer edge must be a little wider than the opposite edge. Then add the bottom part. The bottom edge is almost parallel to the top one, but they get a little closer in the distance. Like this, a little closer on the right. The same on this side. Place the brush to this edge, move it lower, and turn the brush a bit like this. Please note that the object is positioned in such a way that even vertical lines will converge downwards a little. Let's check it. This line is strictly vertical. Move the brush here, parallel to the line, and tilt it a bit to the left. Then again place the brush here and move it on the left, and tilt the brush slightly to the right. So we got a box. There will be a ribbon on top and on the sides. It's parallel to the edges. And these lines also should converge downwards a little. This distortion shouldn't be very noticeable. The lines are just slightly tilted. Let's add a bow here. Make the first loop and mark another edge of the ribbon lower, and the second loop here. Mark the width of the ribbon and add 2 tails. Now let's fill it with color. Let's make a gray background. Take a lot of white, a bit of paint gray, and a bit of paint thinner. Hold the brush like this and cover the background. Don't worry if some areas are left uncovered. We've specially made color and the painting to help us, so it's okay if the background is not completely covered. So quickly apply gray here. You can make a box of any shape, rectangular or cubic. Now let's decide where the light source will be. Let it come from here, close to us. Relative to the box, it'll be behind and slightly to the left. That is, the shadows will be on the right. Behind the box and on the right. Since the light is here, in front of the cube, let's also make it a little darker here. Now let's make the gold wrapping. Take burnt sienna and paint gray, a rather dark color. Show the darkness here. under the bow. Now take ochre, and I'll make the whole top part rather dark. And don't be afraid to cover the bow, it's not very important. All sparkling, shiny objects are made by contrast, so there are a lot of dark tones next to light ones. Pick up yellow paint. These sides will already be lighter. In addition, the reflection of the surroundings is visible in shiny objects, so we can also show it here. Add lighter whitish reflection of the table here. Now take a small brush that we used for the sketch. Let's show the shiny edges here. And here. We can also add a bit of blue paint here to get a more gray color. Also add dark parts. Mix paints gray, brown and a bit of ultramarine. Don't make it very even, it will look better. Now red with brown. I think it'll be better to take a lighter orangish color. Cover this part. And as I said, light tones here are very close to the dark ones. Add even brighter color here. Shiny gold wrapping can reflect a lot of the light, so it can be very light here. We can also correct the object by covering the excess part with a background color. Mix white with gray here and crop the excess like this. And then blend it with the background. Don't make very straight, even edges. Let's also show the places where the gift box touches the table. Now let's mix purple for the bow. Metallic, cyanine blue, and white. Such a bright purple color! And we can make another purple from ultramarine and metallic. Also add white. And we got several purple colors. I'm using bristle brushes for the painting. Now I'll use this angled brush. You can take any that you have. Pick up deep violet color. We can add some more modellate to make the color more pink. Add the ribbon on the sides. Look, my brush has two stiff bristles, so all the paint accumulates in the ferrule and doesn't apply well to the canvas. Therefore, I'll take a softer brush and apply it with lighter pressure. This brush has mixed synthetic fibers and bristles, so now you can use a soft bristle brush or a stiff synthetic one. Add purple color, ultramarine mixed with metallic. You can also use cobalt violet deep or light paints for this. First, apply dark colors. Then make the bow. And be sure to wipe the brush after every stroke. The brush should be clean. The first loop. Show the top part. And we can add lighter parts here at once. Then the bottom part of the loop. It can cover the ribbon here. The next loop. Add the tails of the ribbon. One is on the left. Wipe the brush. And add the next on the right. Now we need to add highlights to make it look like a real gift. Now I'll add some more metallic paint on the palette. So let's add bright highlights. Let's move a piece of white paint here. Show brighter parts of the ribbon. And correct the tip of the ribbon like this. Then use brighter blue colors. They'll alternate with darker and lighter parts. It's darker here on this band. Now use such a medium purple color. Note that we hold the brush like this and it should be parallel to the canvas. The folds don't have to be even. Let's add a light fold here on the band. And I'll also make this tip lighter. And this part of the ribbon. Add reddish pink highlights on the inside part of the bow. And add such darker red here. Since there is a knot in the center here, make the fold here lighter like this. Then pick up Payne's gray and purple on a small brush. Add a ribbon shadow on the wrapping. It'll be wider here and then narrower. There is also a rather dark shadow here. In some places, the ribbon may not fit snugly to the box. Add a shadow here too. And we can make this shadow even softer. Use brown with ochre. Add medium dark shadows here. And a deeper shadow here. And we can already add lighter strokes. Use pure white with just a bit of yellow. Add highlights to the corners. And our gift has already shone so brightly. Then use a more yellow color to add the next highlights. Pick up yellow medium with ochre. Let's add more color. And a little more orange color with ochre and brown. Add it on top to make it a little lighter. Then let's add more contrasty darker shadows on the box, even with purple. And let's emphasize the places where the gift box touches the table. Add a little darker color to the background. Even with purple and gray. And make the foreground lighter, even with pasty strokes. You can also do it with a palette knife. Pick up light paint and cover the near part like this. Let's also emphasize the shadow on the other side. We can outline the box on top in the same way to emphasize it even more. Pick up paint on the bottom part like this and cover the shadow a bit. You can do it with a brush or a palette knife. Also, outline the bow and the back side so the gift will stand out more against the background. Do the same with this side. And then spread it over the background. Don't be afraid to use the palette knife now. On such small studies, you can adapt even more to it, and then it'll become an integral part of your paintings. Also, outline the corner of the box here and then move lower. And I'll correct this corner. Then smooth the shadow a bit like this with a flat bristle brush. And add some gold here. So our first study is almost ready. Let's just add some more highlights. Pick up a bright purple color and add a little brighter highlights. And make this tip a little darker. So that's all. We've painted our first Christmas picture. See you in the next videos!